What's up everybody, we are back with another exotic weapons and catalyst video, and this one is on the Lord of Wolves exotic shotgun, which is a solar energy weapon. So let's get to those perks. The first perk is Chambered Compensator. It's a stable barrel attachment that increases stability, moderate controls recoil, and slightly decreases the handling speed. The second perk is Extended Mag. This weapon has a greatly increased magazine size, but reloads much slower, and it increases the airborne effectiveness. The origin trait is Release the Wolves. Long pressing your reload will greatly increase the rate of fire and shoots in full auto. So this means it can intrinsically shoot in full auto without that full auto setting on in the accessibility settings. Next perk is Composite Stock. This weapon has a versatile dual purpose stock, so it slightly increases the stability and the handling speed. And the final perk is a kill tracker for PvE and PvP. The intrinsic trait is Shrapnel Launcher. It fires a powerful short-range burst of solar damage. It's basically a shotgun that shoots like a pulse rifle. As for the exotic catalyst, it increases the reload speed while Release the Wolves is active and increases stability when it is not active. So, how to obtain the Lord of Wolves exotic shotgun? First off, you need to know you have to own the Forsaken pack, or for the veteran players, formerly the Forsaken expansion. But with that owned, it is a world drop exotic, which means it can come from any exotic engram that drops from any activity, and that includes Xur, who can sell it. Not including his treasure hoard in Eternity, Xur can appear in one of 3 locations on the weekend. One of them is here in the Winding Cove in the European Dead Zone. Just go where my guardian goes here on the screen. Another location that Xur can appear in is on Nessus. You load into the Watcher's Grave towards the top of the map, and you go straight back and he's in the big tree. The third location that Xur can appear in is in the tower. You go over to the hangar, then you make a left and he's back there on the scaffolding. Now, regardless of what weapon Xur is selling, it's going to cost you 29 legendary shards. And as noted before, you have to own that Forsaken pack to be able to obtain Lord of Wolves, and that includes when Xur is selling the weapon, unfortunately. Additionally, if you do own that Forsaken pack, and you come here on a weekend and he does not have the weapon you're looking for, you can purchase his engram here for 97 legendary shards, because this engram contains a random world drop exotic that's not already in your collection. If you purchase this engram and you don't get the weapon, you can purchase a second engram with an exotic cipher, and you can do that once per account per weekend. And those exotic ciphers, one of them comes from your season pass on the free track, and another one can be obtained from Xur's quest called Xenology. I already have the quest active, which is why it doesn't appear here in his menu, but I will show it in my active quests log. And for that quest, you just do the core playlist activities, and you can only do this quest once per weekend. Additionally, you can hold a total of 5 exotic ciphers on your account at a time. So a brief little history on Lord of Wolves before I get into how to obtain its exotic catalyst. Lord of Wolves goes back to Destiny 1 Year 1, specifically with the House of Wolves expansion, which released in May 2015. That was the second expansion of Destiny 1, although it was a small expansion. Now, fast forward to Destiny 2, and it was added with the Forsaken expansion, which released in September 2018. That began Year 2 of the game. That was also Season 4, and it's also known as Season of the Outlaw. And when Lord of Wolves was added to Destiny 2 with the Forsaken expansion, it was originally obtained as a random drop from one of Spider's bounties, and Spider was the main vendor on the Tangled Shore destination, which got removed when the Witch Queen launched in February 2022, although Spider did briefly return as one of the main NPCs during Season 18, Season of the Plunder, back in Year 5. Now, when the Witch Queen expansion launched in February 2022, it removed about half of the Forsaken expansion from the game, which included that Tangled Shore destination I mentioned a second ago, as well as the Forsaken campaign. Now, what remains of Forsaken is this Dreaming City destination that you can see on the screen, and any player can access that. But additionally, the Last Wish raid, the Shattered Throne dungeon, all of the exotics, and a couple of other activities. But To access that in-game content and all of those exotics from Forsaken, you have to own the Forsaken pack. And for players who had owned the Forsaken expansion, it converted over to the Forsaken pack. Now as for Lord of Wolves Exotic Catalyst, it was added in Season 9, Season of Dawn, which ran from December 2019 to March 2020, and that was the second season of the Shadowkeep expansion, which was Year 3 of the game. Now the source for the Catalyst was not affected when that Witch Queen expansion launched, because to obtain the Catalyst, it is a random drop from playing the core playlist activities. So that's the Vanguard Operation playlist, Gambit, and Crucible. Once you obtain the Catalyst, to upgrade the Catalyst, you have to get 500 kills with Lord of Wolves. So to recap the video, to obtain Lord of Wolves, first off you have to own the Forsaken pack. With that Forsaken pack owned, it is a world drop exotic, which means it can be obtained from any exotic engram that can drop from any activity in the game, and that includes Xur, who can sell it. To obtain its exotic catalyst, it is a random drop from the core playlist activities, so that's the Vanguard Operations playlist, Gambit, or Crucible. And then to upgrade the catalyst, it takes 500 kills using Lord of Wolves. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like down below. Also make sure to subscribe because I have other videos like this available, and I'll see you in one of my other ones.